hard questions are questions that you get asked that have consequences. That if you answer a certain way, something will happen that would change your life, maybe. People think of a job interview. In a job interview, if you answer the question wrong, you may not get the job. Um, in a relationship, if you have a hard question, if you answer it correctly, the relationship may be over, may be done. That may be it. Um, it's important to ask hard questions in a relationship, especially early in the relationship. And it's important that your person you're courting also asks you hard questions. This is no different in any relationship, whether it be with someone from your own country or someone from overseas. In our situation with my wife, we were pen pals, and before we were married, we were we were corresponding, and she asked hard questions from the get-go that I had to answer and had to answer them correctly. One question she asked is, "Do you smoke?" All right. "Do you smoke?" may not seem like a hard question, but if I said I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day, the relationship would have been over. She did not want to be with a smoker. I didn't want to be with a smoker either. I understand that. If somebody smokes, they need to find somebody that's okay with smoking. Just some people don't like to have it, and we don't. Neither one of us likes to have it. Don't want to be around people smoking. All right. Their question is another second question she asked was, "Do you drink?" Now, do you drink? A little bit harder question for me because the answer was, yeah, I drank. I drank. I like that. I fudged. I said I was a social drinker when actually I was a pretty antisocial drinker. I drank if I got to three beers. I would drink until there was no beer left, or until I passed out. Uh, some would say I was an alcoholic. I don't know. Never went to any meetings, but my wife saw me drunk one time, and then she said, "I will not marry a drunkard," and she meant it. And I stopped. Okay, haven't been drunk since. I drink occasionally a beer or two, but that's it. I made a choice. You make choices in life. Another hard question I was asked by my wife was, "Are you Catholic?" At the time, I was not Catholic. I was kind of loosely Christian. I grew up somewhat Baptist. I didn't really go to church. Um, but I looked into it. I visited church. I said, I'm looking into it. I'm going to see. She was okay if I was some other form of Christian, but she would not want to be with, say, a Muslim or a Buddhist or a Jewish person, and I wouldn't either. I want somebody of the same faith, the same beliefs that we can share. It's an important thing what faith you have, to me anyway. And we believe it's important to be of the same faith. So that's a question. It's a hard question, but it should be asked, especially early on in the relationship before you get too far, because you want to consider these things. After you get emotionally attached, it may be hard to deal with that. Another question is, have you been married? Have you been married before? This should be asked to you. You should ask. They should ask. I didn't want to be with somebody who's been married before. She didn't want to be with somebody who's married before. Um, in the Philippines, there's really no divorce. So if a Filipino has been married, they probably still are married legally. That's just the way it is there. And you just need to realize that. And I would avoid the situation where you're getting in a problem like that. Furthermore, there's another question that was asked is, does your family approve of me? Family approval is very important. I was asked this, and my mom was on board. My dad, he wasn't positive because he'd been in the army and thought maybe people from the Philippines, scams, all that. So he was a little skeptical. But before she would come, my wife talked to my parents on the phone. She would not come on her K-1 visa until she had had contact with them and knew that they were okay with her coming, and they were okay with her and us and me trying to have a marriage. Okay. The other one is, do you have children, or do you want children? Both these questions are good. You should ask, and you should know if the other person wants children or not. It's some people at a certain age. I know there's big age difference issues with some people. They already had kids, they don't want kids, or um, they may assume that no one would think somebody in their 60s wants to have kids. But Filipinos want to have kids, usually, most of them do. And there's no reason they shouldn't be able to have them. Just because you're old, you know, you're having a relationship with somebody who's young in the childbearing age, there's no reason to think that they wouldn't want to have kids. And it's just a natural thing. These are hard questions. You want to find somebody who asks hard questions, and you want to find somebody who answers your hard questions, because otherwise you're likely to get scammed. If you're just getting somebody who doesn't ask any questions, doesn't care about what the person is, they probably have an ulterior motive. Green card, money, money for family, whatever. They want some kind of compensation, probably. They're not really looking for somebody to be a life partner. They're looking for something else. And you have to think about that before you get too far involved in a relationship. It's better to find out early than find out late. Love to hear anybody else's thoughts on this. Thank you. Goodbye.